Happy Friday, everybody. How are you guys doing today? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day so far. It's about what time is it? It's 1 o'clock. So, yeah, today I wanted to just come on and just say happy Friday and also to talk about pregnancy, incompetence cervix, and cerclages. So, before I get into this video, I just want to congratulate one of my really good friends. She's living in New York. She just called me last night, told me the really good news about her pregnancy. She is pregnant. Congratulations to her. That's wonderful news. I am so happy for her. Now, she has an incompetence cervix, and I know some of you may not know what that is. So I wanted to make a video and talk about incompetence cervix because I too have an incompetent cervix as well. And I want to get into layman terms and try to explain exactly what that is. I don't want to confuse anybody. So basically, to make it simple, an incompetent cervix is some women like myself cannot carry a child to full term. When you have an incompetent cervix, what happens is you you get pregnant, then when you reach about 23 weeks, like 5 months, you go into labor and you miscarry. So instead of being pregnant full term, you just go halfway and you go only when you're in your 5th month of pregnancy, you end up having that baby, and that baby is premature or the baby dies. And that's what happened to me. So let me tell you like a quick little story what happened to me. So I have 5 children. Okay, so when I had my oldest son, I never had that issue. Everything was just perfect. It was just perfect pregnancy. Everything went smoothly. I had no issues whatsoever. So it's not until I got pregnant with my second child, my son, my teenage son, who is now 16. I call him the miracle baby because of what I'm about to tell you guys. So my pregnancy was going great. So when I reached about 5 months, um, my husband, he grabs me and he pulled me like towards him, and I could feel my stomach go. It tore. I could feel it, and immediately my water broke. And I'm only 5 months, so I'm rushed to the emergency room. And so what they tried to do was keep the baby inside of me for as long as possible. So they gave me all these different medications, steroids to help the baby develop faster, a bunch of things. So I kept the baby. I had to stay in the hospital for like 1 week. So I kept my son inside of me for as long as I could, but I still ended up having him. And when I did, he was this little and he was fighting for life, and they had to keep him in an incubator. He had to stay in there for like at least 3 months. That was the most devastating time of my life because I cried every day, because every time I got the phone call that he had an episode, that meant that he almost died today. So I would go to the hospital every day after work. I go straight to the hospital to go visit my son to see if he's okay. So the good news is he stayed in the hospital for 3 months. He was able to come home when he was about 8 months. Let me see. Yeah, about 8 months. So when he was sent home, I had to take with me an oxygen tank, this huge green oxygen tank. And just in case he stopped breathing, I had to give him oxygen. I was so scared. I was like, "Oh my God, I'm not a doctor. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this." But thank God I never had to use that tank. So I ended up giving back the tank. I took the tank back to the hospital and everything was fine. So he is my miracle baby. Everybody thought that he was gonna have special needs, like because they thought he was gonna be, have a little bit of Down syndrome because of the way that he was born. But no, he's healthy. He has no issues whatsoever. So that's like a miracle to me. So that's my miracle baby. So after that, I ended up getting pregnant again in 2001. And I went into labor in my 5th month. I was 22 weeks this time. With my son, I was 23 weeks. This time, I was 22 weeks. This baby was even smaller, and it was my daughter, my firstborn, my first daughter. She did not make it. That was the worst. I wanted a girl so bad, and I finally had my girl, and I'm holding my dead baby in my arms. I had to deliver her, and I held her. I cried. I was emotional. It was like so devastating to me. It was like a nightmare. It was sad. Oh my God, I'll never forget that. That was like, oh, I don't even want to think about it. You know, you do not want to go through that. That's the hardest. So the following year, 2002, is when I had my 13-year-old, my daughter. That was the best moment of my life. But I made sure that I got a cerclage put in. A cerclage is what helps to keep the baby from keeps me from going into labor. So you get stitched. You know, they have to numb your back, and then they numb you from the waist down. They have to go, it's, you know, in your, you know, your private area, and they got to sew stitch that sack to make sure that the baby doesn't come out. And once that's done, you're safe. You know, it's like you feel safe being pregnant, because you know you don't have to worry about the baby coming out, because the baby's not going anywhere. So that's what I had done. And from there, what happens is the stitch has to be removed a couple of weeks before your due date. So if I'm supposed to be due like December 10th, I got to take it out a week before. So, you know, because you know, and that's what happens. And then you go into normal, natural labor. However, if you do not remove the stitch, I'm going to have to end up getting a C-section. So I did not want to get a C-section. So now, and that's basically it. So with my last two children, my last kids, I made sure I got that procedure done, the cerclage. Definitely got it done so I could prevent myself from going into miscarrying and losing my baby. So I call all my children's are blessings. Thank you, they're miracles. Thank you, Jesus. You know, so now my girlfriend is going to get that procedure done. To get that procedure done, it is the most painful. It's painful because you have to, number one, you have to get a shot in your back, like an epidural, pretty much like an epidural. They numb you from the waist down, and then then you have to, and you can't leave the hospital until you could walk, and until you could feel your legs, and you'd be like, oh, because the thing has to wear out. So the medication from the numbness has to wear out in order for you to go, and they have to make sure that you're able to urine. So it's like it's a hell of a procedure, but it's worth it, because if you want to save your baby, and you really, you do what you have to do. So that's the procedures that I had to go through to get the cerclage done. And that's what an incompetence cervix is. So in case anybody plan on having a baby in the future, or pregnant now, and you have an incompetence cervix, you will have an idea of what it is, because I'm sharing it with you all. That's what I have, and now my girlfriend has it as well. And people say, how do you get that? No one really knows. Sometimes it's either hereditary, or it could be like, I did have a procedure done where I had to have a cyst removed. So they had to go into my, give me the C-section. I had to get a cut, and they had to remove the cyst. That could be a reason for that as well. Or sometimes if you have like too many abortions, that could happen as well. And I haven't had a lot of abortions, so I don't know. So it all depends. And I've also heard that it's hereditary as well. It could be hereditary. Who knows? No one knows. The doctor never really gave me an accurate reason to why I have an incompetent cervix. It's just the way it is. And my sister has it too. So it can possibly be hereditary, but my mother didn't have that issue. So I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know. So anyway, guys, just wanted to share that with you all. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. God bless you all. Please stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you guys really soon. Bye-bye.